Uh, we are back January 18th, Wednesday for Big Win Wednesday. This is season 2, and this is session 2 of today's Big Win Wednesday. And we have got a gentleman here that's got fire in his belly and passion in his soul. And he's going to be breaking down this incredible model that, Pat, you and I don't know each other all that well, but I was one of these guys that, you never say never, because I was a W guy, man. I mean, I was like, you could have never got me to, and I had like probably 17 people that came into my office and tried to pitch me on this little 3-letter real estate company. And I'm like, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. I'm KW all the way. I'm never changing. I'm never leaving. And man, you just never say never. And I thank God every day for Rob Flick that he just was so dogged and persistent. He kept calling me and I just kept putting him into voicemail. He'd call me and I put him into voicemail. He'd call me and one time I called and I thought, you know what, I ought to listen to this guy's voicemail and just see what he says. And this particular voicemail, he actually offered to take me golfing. And he even insulted me on my voicemail, if you can believe it. He said, I've been stalking you on your Facebook page and I noticed you like to golf. I don't know if you're any good at it or not. and I'm like, who is this guy, And so I thought, but he offered to pay for my golf. And if you've ever heard of a golf course called Oncala in Scottsdale, it's a nice course. I had never golfed there. I always wanted to, but you had to be a member. And Rob and Jen were members there. And so he brought Scott Lewis and we all went out and hit the ball, got to know each other for the first time. And I've done it before. I share it because I keep it right here. This is Rob Flick's handwriting. I gotta get his signature on this. This is literally what he shared with me that day at the clubhouse. And I don't know how the hell he sold me on eXp with scratch paper from All Pro Carpet Cleaning. But I caught the vision. I didn't want him to know that I caught the vision because I didn't want him to know how excited I was about this opportunity he was sharing with me. But, I was one of these guys who was making a very substantial 6-figure income salary with Keller Williams running a big franchise. I ran 3 of them and I made a 6-figure bonus on top of that. And I had health insurance and I had future equity into the franchise. I had a pretty good contract with Keller Williams, and I just wasn't interested. But when Rob Flick showed me what you're getting ready to show everybody tonight, I knew that I was staring at the future of real estate. And that was a full year before COVID reared its ugly head and forced everybody else to go inside. So, Pat, I'm excited to learn from you, to get to know you better. And sir, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to turn it over and you can take it away. Do we need to make you a co-host or something?
Yeah, if you could, Tony, I'd appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
No, not at all. Boom, there it is.
There it is. So if you've got a slideshow, you can pull it up there. There we go.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm so excited about doing this with you for no other reason than I've watched your career even pre KW, and we can talk about that offline, but anything you touch has been successful, is golden, and you are a mentor like no other. And I know that, and I know other people that know you that said you've changed their life because you pour into them. And that's the greatest gift that we can give anyone. This is not about a get-rich scheme. This is about helping people see what they're worth. And in turn, we all get paid. And I love that. And there's nothing I love more than that. Let me share my screen there. Thank you for letting me get on that little soapbox.
No, I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind. Well, I would like to talk to you offline for sure. We need to do that.
It is absolutely true. So let me slideshow. Boom.
There it is.
Now, one thing I'm going to say, I'm going to take my picture off. For no other reason, I spent the last 45 minutes, and sadly, instead of listening to Akash, but trying to get this update to actually update this new Zoom update that's driving people absolutely nutty around the world. So what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to stop my video. You get to see my beautiful wife and partner, Christine, and we're going to talk shop And in the next few minutes, I want you to see what I saw. And as I always put on all my posts, once seen can't be unseen. Hashtag once seen can't be unseen. And that was the story for me. So welcome to the metaverse. You're like, wait a minute, what are we talking about here? The metaverse? Well, listen, this is not Back to the Future 2, but don't forget, in Back to the Future 2, that was supposed to be 2022, where they had flying cars and they had they had video conferences, also known as Zoom. So we've done something right. We've gotten halfway there. But the metaverse is here. We don't need flying cars when we have the ability for agents across the globe to be able to work together in one brokerage. But let's bring it back, kind of on a personal note. I'm glad that this was talk about your real estate family day in Big Win Wednesday, because I have a similar story to Akash where my family, my mom specifically, in the Hudson Valley in New York State, about 45 minutes north of New York City, my mom started a real estate firm after about 2-3 years in real estate. She was trying to raise me, and she realized, listen, I got to find something that has flexibility. She fell in love with it. I always say in my hometown here in the Hudson Valley, if she didn't build it, she sold it, and if she didn't sell it, I sold it, or my dad sold it. We were, 2 generations of having fun in real estate. A town that we love. Well, here's the thing. We were a brokerage, and bye, honey. That's all right. Tony sent his love to his wife. I'm gonna say,
hey, man, kisses are okay.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's what it's all about. Remember, family first. But I got my real estate license when I was 18. Went to college when I was 21. My mom did the guilt trip and said, hey, listen, I put you through college, will you stay the summer for me? Now I'm going to give away my age, but that was in the go-go 80s. And she probably knew one commission was all I needed to stay. And that's what I got. And the rest has been history. Now I've done other things as well. I've had other businesses. I've done short-term rentals most recently, but I've done a lot of urban planning. I've been Main Street managers to updating small cities. I've built affordable green housing for firefighters and police officers and teachers on Martha's Vineyard. I've done everything, but it's always been around real estate. Even when I was a state representative in New York, a state assemblyman, they call them here, I did real estate on the side because I loved it, but I loved working with my mom. But one thing I didn't realize as a boutique brokerage, she didn't have, a fancy franchise to her name. Her reputation was everything. So we didn't have, and I didn't understand about desk fees and franchise fees on top of fees. But one thing I did know was the fact that my mother poured into people as a good mentor. Sadly, a lot of cases, she poured into them, taught them about the industry, and then they immediately went and jumped to, let's say, C21 or Remax because they thought they needed the franchise title, but she didn't care. She just kept moving and grooving. And that's what real estate pros look for and will be looking for in 2023 because, hey, listen, the economy has changed. We can't sugarcoat it. I see it as an opportunity. I see it as the way it should be, where buyers and sellers, we can work together in order to get people into homes. And it's not such crazy where, people are battling in price wars. But what I realized from my mom during that time is, you had to have training, you had to have tools and support. Back then, you stood in the office waiting for the leads to come through the door. Those days are gone forever. But that's what people are looking for. If I list what I think real estate pros are looking for, they're looking for leads, then training, then tools and support, then money. And you'll be like, no, I'm looking for the money. The power bill, when the power bill comes, the power company doesn't want to know how many leads I have. But no, you want to know that it's not like that old adage, what was it? Here's your desk, here's your phone. Best of luck, you're on your own. No, you want the whole, you want the kit and the caboodle. Am I right, Tony? So and that's why we're going to talk about these important things, because if you're a pro, if you want to make this a living, if you want to build something bigger than just selling a house and then becoming unemployed as soon as you put that check in the commission check into the bank, then we're going to show you why those things are important. And then we're going to show you how you make a boatload of cash. Now, let me just say one thing. At the end of this, I'm going to, as my grandfather used to say, I'm going to also try to hop on anytime I can in order to see everybody's faces until that goes away again. But what my grandfather used to say is, I'm going to show you at the end the gravy on the mashed potatoes. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. So please stick with me to the end, because I want to show you something that some people do. And Tony can attest to this. Kosh can attest to this. Some of the people who are on here can attest to the fact that this is also cool and the thing that my mother didn't have. And that's the sad part about this situation is she didn't have the opportunity to build something greater to create legacy income. So literally till the day she died, she was selling real estate. My dad was 84. And until he was too sick to work, he helped her sell real estate. And that's not what the real estate industry should be about. No. It should be helping people get into homes, being there for people when they're making the largest purchase probably in their lifetime, but at the same time, building wealth and legacy income. So every time you're able to help your grandchildren, great-grandchildren and on, they remember your name. There's nothing like that. That's what I want for more people. And that is what I'm going to do here tonight, I hope, is to provide you value to show you how we're going to break that cycle. And real estate professionals are going to create that legacy income that you need. But you got to wait till the end to hear that. So fast forward, this can't be truer, right? As I said, you're out of business as soon, you're unemployed as soon as you put a check, your commission check into the bank, and then it, obviously it turns into cash. It doesn't bounce. You're out of business until you have another prospect. So you first and foremost, I don't care if you love your broker. I don't care if your broker's your best pal. I don't care any of that. You know what I care about? That I make sure that you're in a business that feeds you leads if you so desire to. So you have a funnel of good people who want to connect with houses, because that's what it's all about. Okay, you're not selling fish at a fish store. You're selling houses, or you have clients that you want to put into houses, and you're out of business if you don't have a prospect. So it's unacceptable to me the fact that anyone out there doesn't have a lead generating system, for one, or two, pay through the nose for it. Let's say like Zillow or what have you. Maybe some of you are like, well, I do have a lead generating system. It's called Zillow, and I pay $500 a month for. No. You have to have a system that allows to capture leads and create business for you. And there's only one platform, and those who are true professionals in the real estate industry know it's KV Core. Unless you have KV Core, or you demand that your brokerage that you're in gets KV Core, which I can assure you probably will not happen because the cost of KV Core is pretty astronomical. Or then you go and you buy it yourself and you choke on the cost. You should just make sure that whatever brokerage you decide, because you're here for some reason, someone invited you here, that you have KV Core. And not only KV Core, the system, but KV Core as the Cadillac of all systems, the CRM and lead generation system. CRM, obviously, customer relationship management, allows you to talk and interact with customers and leads that come in, but get lead generation system that brings people in to look at what you're marketing and then be able to interact with them wherever they are. Because now, fast forward to 2022, again, in the 80s, we didn't have a cell phone. We didn't do it on the fly. We didn't look for, all we could do was put something in the newspaper, which is gone, and wait for someone come through the door, which is gone. We need a system that has it all. It has a website for you, a internet data exchange system, the IDX, the customer relationship management tool. I said, even a pay-per-click marketing. Now, some of you might be like, what the heck is Pat talking about? Well, let me tell you, this is the new world we live in. And as our dear friend and mentor, Tom Trong, says right there in yellow, invest 1 hour a day for 21 straight days. You'll generate more leads than you know what to do with. So first and foremost, as an eXp agent, KV Core is included. That's what sold me when a dear friend of mine, Kenny Olson out of Massachusetts, contacted me and said, Pat, I want you to see something. And I was just like Tony said with with Keller Williams. I was like, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I want to honor my mom. It's Rand Manning Real Estate. I want to be there for. It's like, I'm not asking you to change your name. I'm asking you to change your brokerage. And do you have leads? Do you have a system? Are you trying to grow something here? You told me about mentorship. You told me about legacy. Put it right back in my face. I said, no, I don't have a lead system. I was just going to try to hit my old contacts. He's like, it's a whole new world, brother. And now I know, in the group that we are putting together, where I live here in the Hudson Valley, we now know that KV Core is the way to go. So right off the bat,
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, please.
So funny because it used to be called conversion. That was on your last page.
Right.
Literally, I did a Zoom today for a friend of mine who's working the Sundance Film Festival with his wife in Park City, and he wanted to introduce me to this gentleman that runs a team down in Salt Lake of about 4 or 5 agents. And when we got on Zoom together and got to know each other, I asked him the very first question. I said, what is it that caused you to want to be on this Zoom with me today? Because he's with another brokerage, and he said, I want to know all about KV Core. And I said, really? I was like kind of shocked. I thought he wanted to know about the money, the rev share stock. He said, I want to know about your KV Core. And I go, okay, great. I go, what kind of CRM are you using right now? And this is a guy that does 70 deals or more a year, and he's been in the business for almost 2 decades. And you know what he said to me, Pat? I go, what's your CRM of choice? And he goes, I don't have a CRM. I use spreadsheets.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on the Zoom with you today. And I'm like, you've done this for 20 years without a CRM. You'd probably be doing about 700 deals a year instead of 70 if, for 20 years, if you had a system like KV Core. So anyway, just thought that was apropos, since it literally
very apropos. And you wonder sometimes, why don't other brokerages, the dinosaurs, why don't they talk about KV Core? Why don't they talk to their agents about KV Core? Why don't they find a way to get KV Core?
Yeah.
You know why? Because it would cost them an arm and a leg, and they can't afford it. And
Right.
They don't want to do that. You know what they want to do? Try to find some leads themselves and spit them out like little morsels, like it's Oliver. Sir, can I have some more? Can I have another lead? Another lead? No, this is, they want to keep you, producing and loyal to them instead of honoring you as a real estate professional. Now, you can buy it yourself. So as you can see, it's $7,000 a year, $2,000 to set you up. Like I've seen people pay up to $700 for the Cadillac Assistant, $700 to $1,000 a month to have this. We get it for free as an eXp agent. That alone should turn some heads. It certainly did for me. Now, we even have setups for commercial. Now, I'm a residential guy who likes to do a little commercial, like Akash was talking about. Now he's like, oh, I like a little commercial. Well, where some people have, some brokerages have, in another room, they got a commercial division. We have a true separate commercial division at eXp with professionals in the commercial trade. So if anyone's here, and probably, I'm guessing maybe not, but somebody wants to do all commercial all the time, I want you to jump back, and we're going to talk about eXp commercial in a big way. You'll know these names: Build Out, Renonomy, Agent Hub, all these things. I'm not going to get into this in a big way, but just know you're being taken care of by the top people in the commercial field in this country, in North America. And that's eXp commercial. But these are people like me and you that love residential, but we'll certainly do a warehouse on the side. Now, leads. I think I've beaten that horse on leads, but it's so darn important because you got nothing if you don't have leads. Now, training. One of the biggest things when people I talk to people about eXp because I love talking about it. I love educating people about it, about this new business platform. They're like, yeah, but is there training? I heard there's no training. I'm like, are you kidding me? Then I start to show them what kind of training we have. Well, it all starts with what I started with jokingly, the metaverse. But I'm being serious now. Get this, eXp World. It is the only brokerage in this country, I dare say in the history of real estate, that's ever had a metaverse, a ability to go in and interact in real time with anyone in the 24 countries we work in. Forget the 50 states, forget the county over on the other side of the river. In 24 countries, I can talk to my colleagues in Ireland, where I'm about to start sponsoring people in Ireland. You get what I'm saying? Maybe you have a fellow exchange student that was in Italy. Well, you better call him up if he or she's in real estate, right? The point is we can interact because we are one world brokerage. Well, not to freak anybody out, but isn't that where we're going?
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember trying to return a book at Borders, and I was like 25 days from buying, I bought it. I didn't like it. I tried to return it and they're like, forget about it. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's less than 30. I have the receipt. And they're like, and honest to God, they said, we're Borders. What are you going to do about it? And it was like some, snot-nosed kid. But, the point was, who's laughing now? I think it's a Halloween store, because those who don't provide value and take care of the customer are going to get rolled over, especially if they're not in the cloud, if they're not providing faster, easier, and smarter ways to provide value. We saw it with Blockbuster. It almost bought Netflix, right? $50 million, and they poo-pooed it. They were probably like, who wants to watch movies on TV at home? People want to, have to run around and, get trying to get this videotape back before there's a fine, and then I'm going to charge them for not rewinding it. No, we know what happened to Blockbuster. We know what happened with Borders, now with Amazon. I can buy a book. I'll buy 100 books. I'll return 99. Amazon says no problem, free shipping. This is the same thing. Whatever we see now, this is the unique model that's moving to the metaverse, where we're able to buy online. It's the same. We're putting the high touch, with the human touch, the idea of the internet commingled with being able to be belly to belly with someone. And that's the difference between the traditional real estate brokerages, my mom's business included, but even the C21 and the Remax and the KW. I love I love the agents. I love some of the brokers, but I'm like, the time is now. It's 2023, my friends. You got to be on the web and being talking to a national, let alone international audience. We provide that through a system called Verbella. So literally you create little avatars, you walk around. I'm going to go to my New York auditorium and listen to some training. Oh, wait a minute. I have a fledgling business in Florida. I want to learn about Florida rules and regulations. I go to Florida's room. I'll go listen to that auditorium over there. I have a tech question. 8 p.m. Oh, I'm not going to get any, let's say I'm in, whatever, any of the other ABC companies. I'm not going to get anybody at 8 p.m. Well, at 8 p.m., I've been in the world talking to somebody about tech, about a little issue that I have. And they're around, 1,900 people around waiting for you in eXp World. Yeah, we own Verbella. This is Verbella. That's the platform that does eXp World. You know who uses it? U.S. Navy SEALs, Stanford Business School, Stanford University, HTC. Company after company leases Verbella so they can have interactive meetings and the like with their staff and the people who work for them remotely all the time as well. They know it as a quality product. The one group that can never use Verbella, we'll lease it to everybody. The only person that can never, business can never have it is another real estate brokerage. We own it, right? Right, Tony? So boom.
Keep paying that rent on that 20,000 square foot building.
Right. Amen to that. We're going to get into Yeah, as you well know, the old profit share. You know, the cloud campus allows people to work from anywhere, to interact at any time, paperless transactions. I remember running around trying to find out, where did I put the damn lead report? I just can't find that paper. We able to cut all that out. That's less stress for you, more convenience to your customer. Hey, did you sign this? Okay. But the bigger thing is, it cuts the overhead. And you know that thing I promised you at the end? Remember that. When somebody, you're saying, how do they do this? How do they pay us the way they do and like that? Because we don't have these stupid, just like J.C. Penney and Sears. I mean, Colwell Banker, Mr. Colwell and Mr. Banker came together, I think, in 1906. My dear friend Kenny Olson was telling me, yeah, you know, also they were selling petticoats in on the Sears catalog as well. Do we still do the same thing as we did in 1906? No. We don't have to have these huge brick and mortar things, and Sears didn't have to have those big buildings, but they still had them in the mall, and that's what killed them, because Amazon killed them. So no expensive leases means we can put more money into agent support and technology and community platforms such as Workspace, where we all interact, where we get referrals. I can't tell you the time, and I know there's some dear people that I work with here. I know Nicole Magro's on in our monument group, our little group that we have put together here in the Hudson Valley. And she's had contacts with people who are like, hey, I'm in Florida. Somebody wants to buy in New York. I have it. You know, can we do a referral with each other? Can we, another way to get leads? Workplace has changed everything, part of the metaverse. Even eXp Commercial has their own kind of division. Now, for those who want an office, I get it. My son used to be in theater. And every time in the beginning, every time he would go out to do a play, we were a theater family. Every time he would go out to do a play, he would be so scared to death. He would literally touch the wall of the proscenium of the theater just to make sure it's there, and then he could start. Because he was so like naked out there. He's like, I need to know that there's some wall that I can hide behind or something before he acted. I always think of that when I hear somebody saying, I need an office. I need an office. No, listen, it's great to be able to get together. That's why eXp was like, well, listen, let's go and work with Regus, the one of the largest co-working business spaces in the world, over 3,000 locations. And they said, let's put a Regus as many places as we can. Let's work with Regus, and let's give a free membership, excuse me, to Regus for anybody who needs to touch the wall, like my son, who needs to see a copier. They'll never go in, just like they never go in. Yeah, I was just with a broker talking about, you know, bringing his whole brokerage over. And he's like, you know, he has this little small office. And I said, why do you have a small office? He's like, I have 140 agents, but nobody comes in. I'm like, yeah, but you need to show them they have a copier, right? Well, this is the case with Regus. Again, you get a membership there. If you want to look good, you want to have a little office space, you want to have give somebody a cappuccino, it's all done in the Regus locations as well.
I love this.
I love Regus because it's always so professional looking, right?
Yeah, and it's free. And if it's free, it's for me, baby. So
amen, brother. Over 80 hours of live training. Okay, that's over and above the thousands of hours of archive training with the best of the best, what we call the icon agents, the ones that, like you heard with Akash and people like that, that you know, they've scored big, and now they teach what they do. So we have 80 hours of live training each week. Individual training sometimes for individual states, so there's unique things going on. Team meetings, state meetings, everything going on about anything you would want to learn. And then you know, our group, we all get together and then we do a little more training. So training, nobody beats us in training.
nobody.
Now, support. We got leads, we got training. How about support? Well, how about it? If we have this idea of the metaverse, then we are able to put support teams online to help out at any time. Don't tell me you need to see someone face to face at 7:30 p.m. because you're having a little trouble uploading a document in your present brokerage. What I can promise you is I can get you online, and that person can help you get that document fixed, or the little glitch that's happening, or give you advice and counsel because you don't know how to proceed on something, we're able to fund these almost 2,000 people that work, employees that work for eXp, who work for us, because we don't have ridiculous brick and mortar costs. We're able to pour it into the support that we all need. Isn't support what it's all about? The idea is that sometimes people feel like they're all alone out there, and the only reason why they're at the brokerage seems to give them a desk or even a nod is because they're just getting their share. And if I'll keep them as happy as I can, it's almost like a job, right? Well, that they'll pay you just as much to keep you here, and you'll give them as much as you think
Don't
you're
work
worth.
just hard enough, they won't fire you.
Right, right. That's the difference between this company and the other brokerages. As it said, it's agent owned, agent grown, and agent success obsessed. Now, we're going to talk about the whole idea of agent owned in a bit. Because it is agent owned, we figure out what's best for us, what's to our advantage instead of what's to Warren Buffett or Gary Keller's advantage. Now, like I said, we're international. You may never even dip your foot. You might be happy in the county you're in or the Hudson Valley like I'm in. But if you have people that you know in other countries, why wouldn't you work there? Why wouldn't you work and sell and interact with now the 24 company? I don't even think Dubai is on this map. That's how fast.
Poland, Dubai, I'm seeing a couple missing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Poland's not even here.
Right.
Yeah. Probably something just popped, another country popped while we were looking on the map for those countries.
We just keep adding them.
We have eXp Enterprise. eXp Enterprise is, you know what I like to say, like your website, obviously, and your belly to belly, and you're at Regis. That's like if you owned a pizza place. That's the front of your pizza place. That's where the cash register is. That's where the chairs are and everything else. eXp Enterprise is where the sauce is made. Okay. That's where the the dishes are made, the kitchen. eXp Enterprise is our kitchen. That's where you get to look at your business, how you're doing. SkySlope is mind-blowing. The ability to review your transactions as they're taking place in real time, allow for your clients to sign documents digitally and then upload them, where then they're reviewed, and you're getting paid literally hours. We've been getting paid the next day, but literally hours from when you're able to take a screenshot of that commission check and send it up in the SkySlope. SkySlope is the paperless system. Instead of you running around with a bunch of files, looking like you work for the assistant, you're the district attorney of the city of New York, like you see on Law and Order, and they have all these files and they're trying to carry them into the courtroom. No more of that. You're going to lose something. It's 2023. SkySlope is the way to go. Wait, your brokerage doesn't have SkySlope? You don't have online paperless transactions? Sit back, my friends. Because also eXp Enterprise gives you marketing and branding through business cards and brochures. You can buy your signs there. You can personalize flyers, make videos for social media. I've given you those three things. That alone should turn your head where you're like, okay, unless the money is really bad, I don't know how I unsee what I just saw. Well, let me tell you, friends, no desk fees, no royalty fees, no franchise fees, no fees for no apparent reason fees. You better pay me because you're using too much toilet paper in the company bathroom fee. There's nothing there. It's an 80-20 commission split. Okay. You don't get 60, some people don't get 60-40, and then other people get 95-5 because they think there's something special there, or they're being lured from another brokerage. No, we're all treated the same. We're all professionals. 80-20. All that's taken out of your 80 is a $25 transaction broker review fee. And it's really an investment. It's your broker taking a look at this, and they ask for $25 to review all your documents to make sure they're legal and everything's in place. And a $40 risk management fee. That's your E&O. Once that caps, that'll cap at $500. All right, let me hit this again. That'll cap at $500, and then no more. Not $600 or $700 as soon as you walk in as a brand new agent, and you only sell, 2 pieces of property in your first year, and you're like, oh my God, my money all went to franchise fees, desk fees, and E&O. No, we're not nickel and diming you here.
Pat, I know a lady at KW that pays over 20 grand a year. She does over 500, and then she pays $40 on every deal at KW. And I can't for the life of me to get her to open up her mind. But it's just ridiculous. That's 500 versus 20,000. What don't you understand about that, right? I love the fact we cap our E&O at 500.
I will tell you, Tony, Tom Trong, one time I was talking to someone and I was using him as someone who, when I was first starting out, and they were like, I understand, I understand I'm paying that over here, but I love my, I love my broker. I like the people who I work with. And Tom said, okay, that sounds good. Do me a favor. Let's get your spouse on the phone. And they're like, but why? Because I want to tell your spouse that I just showed you, you're literally giving $29,000 more to that other brokerage. But I want to make sure your spouse knows that $29,000 could be in your pocket and in your family's pocket for your kids,
Right.
but you like your broker. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page of that.
Ouch. Woo.
Yeah, right? It hurts, right? Don't worry. He's now an eXp person, and we didn't have to call the spouse.
Good.
But seriously, it's human nature. You're absolutely right. But Tony, as well as I do, being in this industry, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when enough people, we're here in the long haul. We're growing by 1,000 agents, a month, if not more. We're the fastest growing real estate brokerage in the history of real estate. So I think we're going to be around. If we're at 88,000, last time I counted, and we're going to 1 million agents in 100 countries, I think there's going to be time for your friend there and so many more to come join us, because you're deserving of 80/20. 80/20, 16,000 cap. I know my KW office in the locally here, it's 31.5.
Yep.
Plus $3,000 the fee. So 34.5 before they can get to 100%. We're 16,000 before you get to 100%.
And their cash flow is not as good either, because they're at a 70/30 instead of an 80/20.
Right. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. Absolutely. So 80/20, 16 cap to get you to 100%. Now, I'm going to ask you to do, and we're going to talk about this more in a second. I tell people, listen, I want you to cap. Most of the people who are coming with, they're already doing what's needed for that 16 cap. That 16,000 cap, that's, 3.2 million. They're already doing $4, $5, $8 million in sales. They're loving it. Their mind's blown because they're doing 60/40, 70/30. They're like, wait, 80/20? And I'm like, yeah, but 100. Don't worry about the 80/20. You deserve at least the 80/20. 100,000 as soon as you sell 8 houses. They're like, I sell 28 houses. I'm like, that's right. So starting at number 9, you're getting paid 100%. Now there's a $149 one-time starter package. It gets all the stuff up and running in the metaverse. And that includes your first month. All we have that's a recurring cost is $85. You could take if you had 500 agents and you owned a Century 21 agency and you decided tomorrow to become eXp agency, you still have those 300, 400 agents. It would only cost you $85 a month. That's the crazy thing here. Only $85 to run your own business, because you're really running your own business. I'm still Rand Manning at eXp Realty. I kept my mother's legacy, but I also got smart about building a legacy. $85, just a tech fee. That's for all the training, all the sky slope, everything, and nothing else.
3,000 offices around the world that you can walk into anytime and not pay a penny,
Right. And then you're at 100% until your anniversary year. And all you have then is $250 transaction fee. So now you're getting 100% minus $250. No brainer. No brainer. So now, what did I mean by agent owned, agent grown? We also give stock. Your brokerage gives stock, right? Anybody on here that's taking a look at it, your brokerage gives you stock to the company, right? I bet you they're just piling out Berkshire Hathaway stock every time you do something. Wait, no, that's the difference between an agent owned company. Okay, we give you $200 in EXP stock. It's an EXPI on NASDAQ for your first transaction. First transaction in your year, $200 gets put right into a Merrill Lynch account. Am I wrong? Right? I'm not lying like a rug here, Tony, right?
Every
Right into an
year
account.
on your first transaction.
Every year, first transaction, you get paid the 80/20, and then you get 200 in stock. What was it? It was $13.59 a share as of today. We've seen it going up all the way into the 180s. We've seen it split. All right. So literally stock. When you fully cap, you get that 16,000. You get another $400 in shares. That's just as a hey, thank you. Go you.
Like 7 closings a year for most markets.
Right. We're a $400,000 market. So I always go $400,000 market, 8 sales, you do 600, do the math. I start my glaze over when I hear math. All I know is get to 3.2, get paid, for the first deal. I don't care. Do it all. Do a $3.2 million house. Boom, you're at 100%, whatever the case may be. The numbers are the numbers. How about this? When I used to bring somebody would, my friend Bob was always on me. He's like, you work with your mom. How's that? I'm like, I work with a family business. I love it. I get that attention, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you come work with me? Now, my mom, she wouldn't, she would say, hey, thanks, Pat. Most people, I think sometimes she'd give me some gas from my gas tank. I was like 21 years old. But do you know something? There are people who bring in dozens, and we hear the stories over and over again in eXp, who brought dozens of people to Remax, who brought dozens of people to Weichert, and they didn't even get a Starbucks gift card. They didn't even get a thank you. But you're just automatically going to tell people who gravitate to you, hey, you should be working with me. We'll have fun together, right? And a lot of people don't have loyalty. They'll go here, they'll go there. They're getting paid terribly no matter what. Well, every time, and that's about the gravy on the mashed potatoes in a little bit. Every time you bring in an agent, share the opportunity with them, you're getting $400 as soon as they close their first transaction. Then get this. There's a thing called Icon. So now I got you capped. You've done your 16,000. To the company, you're now getting paid 100%. Do about another 20 sides. Okay, a listing and a sale. There's 2. A rental. Do 20 more sides. Then you're known as Icon. Not only are you considered the best of the best, you're also going to get your $16,000 back in stock from eXp. So you get your 16 back. And you're already working at 100%. It's 100% commission. Then get this. If you so choose, we have an agent equity program where you can, if you enroll, you decide that you want to take 5%. Think about what the 5, 6, 7% you've already been paying in franchise fees or whatever. You're no longer going to have to pay that because you're now with eXp. Why don't you take 5% of that and put it aside in your Merrill Lynch account in eXp stock at a 10% discount. So you're even making more in commission in stock. And isn't that what the CEOs, when you always hear the CEO of Google and the CEO of Smash Dash and the CEO of blah, blah, don't they get paid in money and stock? Because the smart people do. Take 5%, you'll never even feel it because you've already been paying it to Warren Buffett and to Gary Keller or to Mr. Weichert. You've already been paying it to them through the nose for a franchise fee for some mythical reason why you had to have the honor of working for them. How about you pay yourself? And you pay yourself first. Put 5% away at a 10% discount you get in stock. You get what I'm saying? Agent owned, agent grown. They think about, just like our CEO, Glenn Sanford, thought about when here he is with the rest of the gang ringing the bell. Our own Tom Trong is there. because they realize stock is what you keep, it's about what you make, but it's also about what you keep. So I
Hey, Pat,
think
I
yeah.
had a funny story. A guy called me from KW when I was making the big announcement that I was leaving and going to eXp, and he called me up to save me, right? And he said, Tony, he goes, what are you going over there for? And I go, well, for a lot of reasons, for this, that, and the other. He goes, but their stock is crap. It's like $5.20 a share. And what if it goes down to zero? And I go, if it goes down to zero, it would be like I'm still at Keller Williams, because you don't get any stock at Keller Williams.
Boom.
But what if it goes up to $50 a share? Well, it went up to, as you know, 180. We were above Apple, Amazon, and I called that guy and I said, "Do you remember the comment you made? I want you to go online right now and look at our stock." And he goes, "Oh my God. Okay, sign me up." And that guy came over just like that. So it's like, yeah, if I went down to zero, I'd still be at KW, because you don't get any stock there. It's privately held companies, just like most of these companies out there. So anyway,
Most of these companies, their stock is going down. Compass is free falling.
yeah,
Realogy, which owns C21 now, what they're known as Anywhere, but they own C21 and Coldwell Banker and Sotheby's and all like that. Their stock is going down. They're
yeah.
all going down. We're going up. We have no debt. Isn't that where the place you want to be when you come into a change in the economy? Oh yeah, how about that most agents don't have health care? I've been very successful in my life, but I've been also an entrepreneur. So it made no sense for me to buy health care, even as a real estate broker or in my other roles, unless it was given to me. I had like a $25,000 deductible. It was insane. I might as well just bank the money and hope I don't get cancer, God forbid. How about affordable health care? Not everybody can bank 20 grand. How about affordable health care for all agents? Now we're on eXp Healthcare, myself and Christine.
So am I,
Smart.
man, and I love it.
Right.
I love it.
That's like money in the bank, because I'm
Saving
paying
a
a
ton of
fraction.
money.
Right, a fraction. Prescriptions for free. Christine has asthma, free. Anything I want to go to, free. $50 if it's a dermatologist. That's the only thing I've ever had to pay for. eXp Agent Healthcare, that should be a game changer for you, and also money in the bank for you. That's why we're known as the top of the top in 2022. That's why some people are saying, wait a minute, how could it be this good? You got to be kidding me. You're telling me I can just join .exprealty.com? I'm going to say, yeah, but I want you to do this. Go back to the person who brought you here and say, I want you to be my sponsor, because you're only as good as having a good sponsor around you. And say, I want you to be my sponsor. Now let's do this together. And you're going to go to join.exprealty.com. You're going to put him or her in as your sponsor, and you guys are going to roll together, and they're going to teach you the ropes. And I got to tell you that I have never found somebody who didn't want to pay it forward in eXp and help. And that's why we're here tonight. But there's more. Remember that cherry on top of the ice cream sundae I promised you? Now, 9 out of 10, I don't know what the number is. Let's say 9 out of 10, and I think that's probably right. eXp agents never go further than what we just talked about. And that's okay. They're making a boatload of money versus where they were, because they're now getting paid what they're worth, their value as a professional. But remember when I told you about my friend Bob? Remember that idea of Bob saying, hey, you work at your family business, can I come work there too? Well, let me tell you something. This ain't no get rich quick. This is just smart money on the part of eXp. Now, Glenn Sanford, had his team over at Keller Williams. And the story goes, he looked at that thing and said, Keller Williams has this 7-tier program. See my 7 little folks going down there? They have a 7-tier program. That makes sense. If I brought someone in, shouldn't I get some referral fees for every time maybe they sell something, I could get something? But Keller Williams is a profit share. And anybody who's been a business person in the world today, this is not some secret, IRS secret, but you want, if you're a business, to have as little show as little as profit as you can. You know, one time I think, Tony, you were talking, or somebody was talking about the Keller Williams experience, and they said, you know, at the end, it would be like, here's the credit card, Tony. I'm not putting words in your mouth. Here's the credit card, Tony. Go buy drinks for everybody.
That's
Get
what
rid
I
of the
was
money.
told by my boss. I mean, that's exactly what they said. They did not, and it killed me because I believed if Gary Keller came into Phoenix and saw what all these owners of these franchises were doing, he would have got rid of every one of them.
Yep.
Because they were bastardizing a program that created the largest real estate company in the world. And now we have this new company called eXp that's just blowing them away. So that's why they're all leaving and coming here, frankly.
Mr. Sanford had it right. He's like, at the end, there's no profit in the profit share. There's crumbs.
Yeah.
Because they're spending it on big fancy offices, wild Christmas parties. Let's renovate again before we have to pay out profit share. It was funny. As soon as you said that, Tony, that example, one time I heard you, I went online, and a friend of mine who's a professional photographer took a picture and said, last night I was just at the at the Keller Williams Christmas party. What a bash they put on. And I was supposed to take pictures of it. I'm thinking to myself, now we know the secret.
Yeah.
So Glenn Sanford said, no, let's take the 7 tiers, but instead of profit share, let's make it revenue share. Let's guarantee out of the 20% that eXp takes in, not the 80%, but the 20% that eXp takes. Mr. Sanford realized we could live on half of that. We could be very profitable on half of the 20%. Why don't we earmark the other half and give it back in a cascading revenue share, 7 tiers down? You know, Christine would say to me, math, 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 stop showing all those numbers. So let me show it. Here's my friend Bob. Okay, there's me in the orange. Bob comes in. Now 3.5% is paid out in the gross commission income, the GCI. So the example, let's take a $600,000 house. I'm working there at my mother's office, right? Bob says, I want to come in. He comes in. I sponsored him in essence. If we had that kind of program when I did. Back then, I wouldn't get anything. In eXp now, let's say my mother's brokerage at eXp, Bob comes in, I sponsor him. He sells a $600,000 house, 2.5% commission. It was somebody else's listing. He's getting 15,000 GCI, right? So I get 3.5% of what he gets, but not from his 15,000. That 15,000 still coming to him minus the $25 review, minus the E&O. He's getting the, everything. I'm getting paid $525 as a thank you, Pat, for being agent grown, agent owned, getting what eXp is all about. Here's $525 from Glenn Sanford's share, from eXp's share. Now you can make up to $2,800 on Bob if I wanted to. But again, remember, it's as simple as it comes from the company. It doesn't come from that 80% that Bob deserves as a professional. Everybody get it? Well, it doesn't stop there. Now, I can't stop Bob from telling Marcy and Sally. Why wouldn't Bob and Marcy and Sally? They're like best buds. They went to college together. They're in real estate. He's like, come over. And this is awesome. So now I have 5 people that are now productive. Some maybe I'm making all the way up to that $2,800 I just said before they cap, and that's where it would stop. But maybe some are just doing enough. I'm making $1,000. Who cares? It still gets deposited in the bank. I like that. My power company likes that. Christine likes that. But now Bob is talking to Marcy and Sally, and he starts to bring them on under him. He's making up to $2,800 per productive agent there. But you know what I'm getting? I'm getting up to $3,200 as tier 2. Now you want to get 5 people under you, 5 producing agents. You're still going to get paid on those 5, but you want on those, let's say 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3 or 4. But once you get to 5, now you're getting paid up to $3,200 on tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. You get what I'm saying? We don't have to go into, why don't we make it even more simple? This is about the legacy I wish my mom and dad had. Let's make it a 2-year plan. I've seen people do this in 2-month plan. Let's make a 2-year plan. Let's make this no stress. You're out there selling, you're getting to 100% commission, you're getting all this training and support, but it's just going to happen that you're going to tell somebody about eXp and how cool it is. They're going to come join and you're going to sponsor them. In 2 years, find 5 cappers, find 5 people that want to do $3.2 million or more, and then you teach them and help them find 5 cappers each for them. If you do that in a 2-year plan, you're going to talk to one person every 6 months or 3 months. You're going to bring somebody in. This thing, again, once seen can't be unseen. Well, the numbers are the numbers. If you do that, boom, right there, as I showed you, tier 1 up to $2,800. There's 14 grand right there for those 5. And then you teach those 5 how to get 5. That's 80,000 for a total of $94,000 a year. And you did not meet the clients. You did not do the open house. You did not waste your gas. You were just a good mentor who told other people that there's a new business platform out there called eXp Realty, and you should be part of it. But we can go even further for those who like to dream. Let's do the 5-year plan. Are we all here to do real estate for the next 5 years? Good. Then let's find 10 cappers in 5 years that sponsor 10 cappers each. Now you could have 10, you could have 20 people. Again, you could have not 10 cappers, but you have 10 cappers and another 7 that do a little less than a cap. You're still getting paid hundreds or thousands of dollars for them. Okay. But let's find 10 cappers that will find another 10 other cappers, a 5-year plan. Now you're making up to $348,000 a year. Okay. The math is the math. I can't make this up. And you might be saying, how does eXp do it? Because they're not sponsoring all these huge offices and all these upgrades or all these wild parties. All they say is the agents deserve the money. We do not have to be pigs here. Let's give it back to the agents because this is agent owned, agent grown, and agent success obsessed. Now, you heard me talk about the exprealty.com. You could stop and never sponsor a single person. It's cool. It's all right. But please get paid what you're worth. Worst case, go back to your broker and demand that they do A, B, C, and D, and E, and F, and G that I just told you about. They're not going to give that to you. I assure you.
They will laugh.
Maybe they'll try to give it to you on your way out the door, but then you should say, why wasn't I worth it a day before I told you I was leaving for eXp? But why don't you just do this? Get back to the person who brought you here and say, I want to be sponsored. I want to go now. Let's do this. I'm done for 2023. I'm going to get paid what I'm worth. Join.exp.realty.com and we'll get you onboarded, ready to go, and get you producing as soon as possible. Without further ado, my friend, Tony, thank you for this time. I really appreciate it. And if there's any quick questions, I'm certainly more than happy to answer any. But hopefully,
no, thank you for. I love the different leaders at eXp. I know a lot of just very talented people, you included, but I always learn, even though I've seen the presentation hundreds of times, I always learn something, and I really appreciate the way you delivered that information tonight, Pat. You did a great job. I picked up some great nuggets. It was wonderful. So if anybody has any questions, though, for Mr. Manning, this is a great opportunity for you to unmute your mic and fire away here for just a minute or two. And then I'm going to go into the final session of our Big Win Wednesday, which is a little deeper dive into the revenue share piece, which Pat just did a great job covering. So anybody want to hit Pat up with a question? This is your opportunity. You know the reason why most realtors aren't successful, Pat?
Why is that, Tony?
Because they're too bashful to ask questions.
Far from that.
I just called them all out. I'm sorry, but
maybe I answered all their questions. Maybe I've learned from the master, sir.
You did such a great job. No one has any questions. That's the point of it. But yeah, you're amazing. I really appreciate it.
Thanks
Someone asked a question down there, Bree. Is it up to $2,800 per agent per year on tier 1? And the answer is yes. Right. Unlimited. I think I have 36 on my front line. 36 personally sponsored. I think I've lost, 7 or 8 over the last 3.5 years, but most of the agents that I've sponsored are loyal. They stay here. They're getting paid more than they ever got paid anywhere else. And why would they ever want to leave when they have all this stock that once they're here for 3 years, they can sell it? I get an email, Pat, every week now that says, or at least every couple of weeks that says, you've got more stock vesting on the 31st of the month, and I love getting those emails because that's just telling me more retirement money, more retirement money, more retirement money.
Right. And that's the money that you're getting while you're sleeping, because eXp is awake and putting that money into your account for your retirement. And all you did was just be good and, a good person and educate people out there, our fellow professionals. It's the best model.
Yeah. Zach, I love what you said, that the eXp healthcare took care of a $69,000 medical bill after you paid your $5,000 deductible. 5,000 sounds a whole lot better than 69. That is incredible. I love it too. I hate to tell you this, but I just had my colonoscopy. When you're, this age, you have to do that every so often. And I didn't pay 1 penny, not for the stuff that I had to drink, not for the anesthesiologist. It was all covered 100% with my eXp health insurance, and I'll never switch. I love it. I was paying $800 a month, and now I'm paying $560, and that includes both my wife and me. And we get all of our prescriptions free because they cover all generic prescriptions 100%. And so all of our prescriptions are generic, and so we don't pay anything for my asthma medicine. I don't know if you guys know what Advair is, but it comes in a purple thing. It's very expensive. I've had asthma for 61 years. Matter of fact, I had to go take my medicine right before I came in and did this second session because I was having a hard time breathing. But I don't pay for my prescriptions. That's never happened. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, and I always paid something. And now I don't pay a penny, and I love it. I'll never change. I just love our healthcare. Well, guys,
how many people, sorry, Tony, give away their dreams of being an entrepreneur like we are, because they have to take a 9 to 5 to have healthcare. And now we've made it where you can have affordable healthcare and live your best life.
Absolutely. Man, Pat, what a great job. I really appreciate it. I don't know if there's anybody on here that's a guest that you're not with eXp, but I'm telling you, this gentleman just gave the goods. And, it's one of those things that, like you said, once you see it, you can't unsee it, but you always have the opportunity. That's why when I coach my agents that are leaving Coldwell Banker or Remax, I go out with love. Tell your broker you love them. Tell them how much you appreciate all they poured into you. Tell them how much how much you appreciate the support that you got. Don't be a jerk. And you can always go back if it doesn't work out at eXp. And I've only had one agent out of about 40 that I've brought over that left eXp and went back to Keller Williams. And I guarantee you, if I called her right now, she would be in the woulda, coulda, shoulda club. And I don't want anybody to shoulda all over themselves. I guarantee you would tell me, I wish I would have never left eXp. But she's too prideful, obviously, to say that or to come back. But maybe I should pick up the phone and call her. But anyway, Pat, great job. I'm going to go ahead and give you a break for the evening. But I'm going to, guys, please show some gratitude for Mr. Manning. This was an incredible presentation. For the guests that are here tonight, get back with the person that invited you, get your questions answered, go to that website that he gave us, join.exprealty.com, change your life. It's the best business decision this old man's ever made. 3.5 years ago when I walked away from KW and came to eXp, I've never made a better business decision in my life than that decision. And that's just, God is my witness. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So that's my little finish up there. But anyway, thanks, Daniel, for showing some gratitude. Appreciate it. Looks like we might have some more. We got everybody. Okay, great job, Pat. Thanks. David, thank you. Very exciting. Thank you, Pat. Great. Awesome. Love you guys. Attitude, gratitude. That's what eXp is all about. I love it. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and Sam, I think, you know what? I'm fired